yoga here at the Santa Monica stairs. I did my 18 stats. My hair is all fuzzy, and welcome. Today, I am here to talk to you about, I think I can even explain that. Okay. I'm not sure if this is recording at all. It keeps coming in and out. I'm sorry about that. Hello, Santa Monica. Okay, so I want to talk about the things that I did and have done since 2020. I've been rubbing my nose so much that I actually have like a raw spot right there. What I've done since 2020 to avoid getting COVID, and it's now late August 2024, and to date, I have not gotten it. So listen up, kitty pups. This might just save you from sickness. Okay, first things first, because the first question that people ask is, am I vaxxed? Yes. Yes, I'm vaxxed. I got vaccinated when vaccinations first became available, and I got the booster shot. Okay, so yes, I have like maybe 4 vaxes or something like that. So there's that. Second point, did I mask? Yes, I masked. While we were on lockdown, I was very, very careful, I have to say. I only met with people, including family, outdoors, and I always wore a mask if I was in a situation that was in public, like, say, a store or something like that. So, yes, I masked. And I was very careful. I stayed indoors a lot. Now, why? Let me be very clear about this. It wasn't because I was afraid of getting sick. I'm not somebody who's afraid of getting sick. I'm going to get into that later in the video. I really recommend staying to the end because that's some of my most important stuff. But what I did not want was to get COVID, to be asymptomatic, and to pass it to someone who pass it to their grandma and kills them. Like, that is something I could not live with. And knowing that there was no way for me to know if I was passing um, this potentially deadly disease along to people, that is why I was really, really adamant about not getting sick. Not the least of which, I didn't want to get my own family sick, my parents, who were around 80 years old and in incredible and unbelievable health. However, let's talk about what did I do to avoid getting COVID from COVID until today. Okay, so I have a fairly extensive regimen of like vitamins and supplements that I take. If you really care, ask me in the comments and I could go into it. But one that I added during the pandemic, one that I've been taking for a long time, which is the turmeric curcumin, people thought was really, really good for it, and that's fairly common. But one that I added on the suggestion of a doctor friend, an emergency doctor friend, was something, I'm probably going to pronounce this incorrectly, called quercetin. I'll spell it Quercetin, and it is upper respiratory support, among other things. So, because so much of COVID was an upper respiratory challenge, that was something that I added to my supplementation and have been taking every day since 2020. I'll try to remember to put a link here as well. Okay, so on top of that, probiotics, lots of vitamins, and yes, lots and lots of water. As you probably know, if you watch my videos on how to stay healthy, the number one health hack in the entire world, and I literally just made a video about this a couple weeks ago, is lots and lots of fresh and well filtered water. They're literally Water is better for you than yoga. I hate to say that out loud, but it's actually true. Okay, so what does water do? Among other things, it flushes your systems of toxins. So it's one thing that keeps everything flowing in and out of your body, in this end, out the other end, and also out through your sweat glands. Okay, so hopefully you guys know that your skin is your largest eliminatory organ, right? So, in fact, when we sweat, right, we're releasing toxins from our bodies. And so, a couple of the other things that I did religiously during the pandemic, during lockdown in particular, but still till today. Um, and when I say religiously, let me just add prayer every day, sincere prayer um, to God and gratitude. To me, prayer and gratitude are very much the same thing anyway, but that's not the religiously I'm talking about. The religiously that I was talking about was I went in my infrared sauna every day for about an hour. Now, I know that that might seem excessive, and you absolutely do not have to do an hour, but there are studies that say that extreme heat and perhaps infrared heat in particular, and I tagged some of those saunas like the one that I have in my products as well. It's a low investment, and by the way, it uses almost no electricity. So when I first bought it, I thought, oh my goodness, my electricity bill is going to go through the roof, and it really didn't. I use it for an hour a day, and it uses the same electricity basically as a light bulb. So it had zero impact on my overall electric bill, just so you know. Okay, so I was in my sauna every day, except on the days that I took really, really, really hot baths. Okay. Um, I would love to say that showers count. And if by chance you don't have a bath or a sauna, shower is obviously the next best thing. But a shower isn't fully immersed. Obviously, you understand the concept of a shower is water raining down on you rather than submerging. So I'm a much bigger fan of sauna or bath, but that hot heat helps you to sweat and to burn toxins. Okay, that being said, how else did I make sure that I supported both my heart and lung health, which is a big issue, big issue when it comes to COVID, and also have that benefit of sweating, schwitzing. Well, you're looking at it, folks. I mean, you're looking at the end of it. Santa Monica Stairs, otherwise known as hard cardio, cardiovascular. Okay. Now, I am a big believer in cardio, big believer. Um, I was, as some of you may know, like a very intense athlete before I turned to yoga, and I'm still an intense athlete. It's just different. Um, I used to do massive amounts of running and biking, like biking 100 miles at a time, running half marathons a few times a week, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and spinning like crazy. So I come from a very athletic background. I have to be honest, but I do believe that cardiovascular health is one of, if not the most important physical components of health. I'll get into the mental components later. Okay, so as it turns out, I have, as again, most of you know, a very intensive yoga practice. If you want to know what I do every single day, you could go to my Vimeo channel. I'll put that in the description when I get home. And check out my Fuller Monty. That is basically what I do every day. It's hardcore. It involves about 30 different kinds of handstands, lots of other arm balance and inversions, lots of leggy stuff, the whole thing, contortions, hips, the things. Um, and and pranayama, right? The Ujjayi breath is the cornerstone of my practice. It has to be. If you're not practicing the deep, rich breath, the Ujjayi, I will argue that you are not getting the full benefits of the practice. And without the breathing, you're just doing yoga inspired movements rather than actually practicing yoga, because asana practice is highly dependent on having the pranayama, and in my case, the ujjayi. Okay. Now, ujjayi, if done properly and in a rigorous form of yoga, such as Ashtanga or a strong vinyasa practice, or my Fuller Monty, will challenge your breath. It will get your heart rate up, but I can tell you from vast experience, there is nothing, not my ab challenge, nothing that I can do on a yoga mat that is going to begin to approximate the cardiovascular challenge that actual cardio, such as running the stairs, running, spinning, etc., will give you. So I am a big fan of doing your cardio both for the heart health, but also for coming back to the concept of sweating out toxins. Okay, now here's perhaps the most important reason that I never got COVID. Okay. I don't think it's the vaccinations and probably the water, sauna, the Quercetin, and the cardio. I'm going to assume that all of them together really did make an impact. But more than anything, it's my mindset. No. Don't turn off the video. Guys, this is important. Let me be honest with you. I have in my entire life missed two or missed, I should say, school and or work for two reasons ever. In first grade, I missed a week or two of school. I can't remember how long I was in first grade because I had chicken pox. Can't go to school with chicken pox. And in 2002, I missed about 2 weeks of yoga teaching because I got a flu that was so bad. It was like every single thing you could imagine. It was migraines, it was a cold, it was strep throat, it was sore in my entire body. It was nausea. It was um boy, all the things. You name it, I had it. And I it was so bad I literally couldn't even sit up. I went to the doctor, I remember, because I didn't know what it was. It knocked me out in the middle of a class. I was teaching class and it hit me like a truck. I had to lie down as I was teaching it. And yes, I finished the class. I taught it lying on my back looking at the ceiling. I went to the emergency room and I had to sit like sideways on the chair because it was like an armrest and I couldn't lie down. I literally couldn't even sit up. That's how bad it was. And oh, by the way, that might be another reason why I didn't get COVID because they are both coronaviruses. And I'll tell you something funny. Up until that day, I got colds twice a year. And no, I never missed a day of school or work because of a cold. And after I got that flu, I have never had a cold since 2002 or COVID. Now, that may or may not have anything to do with anything with why I didn't get COVID, but my real point was I have missed school once in sixth grade because of the chicken pox and work once. And when I say once, I mean for a couple weeks because of a deathly flu. Besides that, I worked through decades of debilitating migraines, for example. I always went to work if I had a cold or school. It wasn't even a thing. Why? Mindset. Because I do not see myself or believe myself to be the kind of person who gets sick. I have to be honest. I just don't buy into that. And I think that we are all like a product of our upbringing, right? My parents, like, only took us to the doctor, really. I can't remember going to doctor besides chickenpox for my like a checkup, an annual exam. And it's not because like any like religious thing. We're not Christian scientists or anything like that. My parents 100% believe in medicine, but they don't. really believe in sickness that much. I have to be honest. They believe in powering on. And it wasn't mean, it wasn't abusive, it wasn't anything. It was quite the opposite. It was empowering. Like my whole family, all four of the kids, um, none of us ever got sick. And to this day, none of us ever does get sick. Um, a lot of us got, a lot of us, them, did get some form of COVID, but it didn't set them back more than a day only because they felt like they had to. And so here's the thing. If you're not brought up with that mindset, with that bulletproof mindset of like, I just don't get sick, you have two choices. Okay. You can keep the mindset that you have, the opposite being, I do get sick, or I do get sick sometimes, or sickness is just something that happens. That's fine. It's totally fine. And scientifically, I can't disprove that. Or you can change your mind. You can change your mind and change your mindset to a place where you believe you are impervious to disease. And I'll tell you something else. It's not even like I think about like, oh, I'm not going to get COVID. I don't even think about it. I don't even think about COVID. I don't think about not getting cancer. I don't think about not getting the flu. I don't think about any of those things. I just think about being healthy. You see the difference? In my mindset, I am always healthy. I am always wealthy. Period. Period. That's just how I approach the world. But if your mindset is like, everything is a challenge for me, I struggle, I don't want X, Y, or Z, then your focus is on the negative things that you don't want instead of the positive things that you do want. Now, am I perfect in the execution of this mindset? I wish. Boy, I wish. If I were perfect in this mindset in every way in my life, my whole life would be perfect, right? But I am here to say that when you create a mindset that decides, that just decides you are not getting sick, you are healthy, you are strong, you are impervious, bulletproof, and you can power on through anything, I think you might surprise yourself. I have healed myself of injuries that doctors said would require surgery that I never had surgery for. I'll try to remember to put a blog post about that in here too, because I've written about that. I literally, like just last night, I told you I've been rubbing my nose so much. Just last night, and I think it's because I was like dusting and I think something got in my nose. But my nose like was all like a little itchy and I was sneezing like crazy. I got a little something in my throat. And instead of saying, "Oh, I have something coming on," I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll go to bed. I'll be fine in the morning." And that's how I always go to bed. If I have like a little sniffle or a little sore throat or anything like that, which for me only seems to come before bed or while I'm sleeping, I just say to myself, "That's okay. I'll be fine in the morning." And I'm telling you, every morning I wake up in perfect health. I do. I do. And so, how strong is, hi, buddy, cute doggy. How strong is your mind? And how strong is your body? And what is the correlation? I hope that you learned something from this. I always love to hear your comments. I see that Dragio, I'm going to say that wrong, also never got it. I'm not sure why so many people in this world are have decided to write really like derogatory comments on my YouTube every day about how old I am. I do look great for 95. Thank you very much. I'm actually 96 now, so I take that as a huge compliment. But for anybody for anybody who thinks that they are hurting my feelings by making a comment about my age, Listen, there are things you can control in life and things you can't. Age is one of them you can't. I'll be 53 next week. That's no big secret. I do my next Thursday will be my 53 poses for my 53rd birthday video. Um, 53 poses that most people on earth of any age can't do. So, as much as I would love to say that all of these people who try to say mean things to me about my age are somehow hurting me, you're going to have to try something else. This is Shana Meyerson, just days before my 53 or 53rd birthday, wishing you happiness and health today and always.